It would not have been possible to produce all of the sessions and content for Punchback Print and bring you all of this content for free without the help of our amazing sponsors. So without further ado, here is a quick word from one of them.
Recent NAPCO research showed that 28% of marketeers have not had experience in print. This gives our industry a unique opportunity to educate them about using a tool that can be highly personalized, directly targeted to consumer demographics from their online data, and build a premium, innovative experience unique to any other media.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. In this session, we're going to look at how the local enterprise partnerships can help you and your company grow and succeed in these difficult times. And we're going to do that by getting a company that's received that support, Lucy from Nutshell Creative Marketing, speaking in an interview with Emmanuel from SEMLEP, who supported her. And what I want you to do is sit down, listen and learn, because I want you not to make the mistakes that Lucy might have made. So we're going to be looking at the different elements of support that are out there, particularly concentrating on the soft support and the grants. And we've got Emmanuel from one of the local enterprise partnerships. There's 38 spread out throughout England. And what Emmanuel will be sharing with us is how you can access the support, the changes it will make to your company, and how it can take you forward. But rather than give us some hypothetical sort of talk, Emmanuel's been kind enough to bring along one of the companies that she supported, Lucy, and between them they're going to touch upon what they used, why they used it, what went well, and what lessons have they learned. And before we do that, I'm just going to give a little bit of an introduction to myself. I'm Ian Tracy, and my job is helping companies find the support they need. I always have time for a coffee for any entrepreneur, because I remember when I started my company, that advice from others helped me to move forward so quickly. I operate as a freemium model. Get in touch, it's free, and when we have a project you start paying. It's as easy as that. And remember two things. Always try and do the right thing and make it look easy, and never try and do the easy thing and make it look right. And now I'm going to switch over, I'm going to bring Emmanuel into the conversation, and she's going to be talking with Lucy and the journey that they took. So Emmanuel, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Ian. It's great to have you here, Lucy, and it's really to show how businesses can access the support available and be aware of their local enterprise partnership and their local growth hub. I work for the South East Midlands Local Enterprise Partnership, who is here covering the South East Midlands, helping businesses to grow. And you're one of our businesses who approached us, so it'd be great to hear about your journey, because it's important for businesses to know what's available out there and how to access it. At SEMLEP, we support businesses with their business strategies, with access to funding. We support them on a one-to-one basis and through events, but we also signpost and refer to other organizations in the region who can support businesses. So it's important to know what's available out there. And then Lucy, you're a great example of how you achieve that. So where did you hear about what type of business support was available in your local area?
Okay, thank you, Manuel, and thank you, Ian. Where did I hear about the funding? It was about 15 years ago now, and it was with a business partner that I worked with at the time, and fortunately he was the marketing manager for the local Chamber of Commerce. So yeah, it was really quite handy to have that connection and insight so early on into our business.
Okay, and did the Chamber help you, or what organizations did you contact?
Well, at the time, it was actually Business Link, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure what the setup is in the Northampton Chamber anymore, but yeah, it was certainly Business Link at the time. Moving forward, I obviously deal quite closely with the learning and enterprise the local enterprise partnerships. that are either closest to our office. We're based in Milton, or just outside of Milton Keynes, but I also tap into like local universities as well. So we've got the University of Bedfordshire I've worked with, Coventry University and Cranfield.
Excellent. And what was your experience in dealing with the local enterprise partnership and the universities?
Incredibly beneficial and incredibly relevant, I would say, are the key things in terms of my experience. But I mean, one standout thing I think from this, over and above learning, is the network that you actually build. You meet some really, really interesting people along the way, really intelligent business minds, and they're all genuinely willing to help you, and it's for free. So I sometimes don't understand why people don't know about this service that you can tap into, because it's incredibly beneficial.
Yes. And as you say, it's getting to know other organizations, by talking to an advisor or somebody you met at a networking event. One thing leads to another, and then you expand your network as well.
Absolutely, you do.
And what services did you benefit from?
Oh gosh, all sorts. We've had access to funding itself, so we've been able to use that to invest in new technology that's allowed us to market some of our agency services to clients that we wouldn't necessarily have been able to pick up business before. It's given us a differentiator as an agency. I've accessed training. About 6 years ago, I did the business growth program, which is like a mini MBA with Cranfield University. That was an amazing experience over a period of 6 months. I've had access to some of Ian's initiatives that he's worked on called Pitfalls, where you're taken through a journey of how to be prepared for investor ready type presentations. Gosh, what else? And then just the general, SEMLEP offers some great workshops that are all, again, totally free, that can range from, finance, HR, health and safety, a lot of things that, sometimes small business owners don't know are readily available to them.
Okay. And how has it helped your business, would you say?
I think, from an overarching perspective, yes, it's helped us grow sales and, supported the business in terms of its growth. But I think the key thing that I'd take from it is that it's helped our business become more focused on our core activities. So we don't get sidetracked on, shiny new things that we think are going to help us, grow. It would only detract us. So I think from a discipline point of view and being, in the position that I am, you're forced for some of these funding applications to write your business plan, develop your marketing strategy, really define what it is that you need to do, because you need that evidence to be able to access the grants and courses that are available to you. So, yeah, I think in terms of help, it's that would be the key point in having that sort of structure and discipline to deliver against what you've set out to do.
And did you get help with filling in the grant application, for instance?
Absolutely, yeah. So through certainly the SEMLEP ones and the university grants, the team that you have access to, particularly with grant funding applications or academics where you want to, so if it's an innovation grant, for example, and you're wanting to launch a new part of your business, they are readily available and so willing to help. Actually, it's an amazing font of knowledge into.
Okay. So what would you say to any business in a region?
Get yourself out there and access this free advice. I think the saying goes, nobody knows everything, but everybody knows something. So why not take advantage of it? And and sometimes, you get a different perspective from talking to somebody else who's outside of your industry. It can provoke, more thoughts, and equally it can sanitize, your ideas and help bring confidence to yourself. as an individual. You know, there's access out there. Businesses, you know, need to invest, they need to grow, particularly now, and you know, you guys are there to help them. So tap into that network and grow your business. I think it's also important to note as well, for certainly for, you know, hopefully the people and the membership that are listening today, is that, you know, this can be a vehicle for them to signpost to their customers, for them to be able to access funding, and for them to be able to, you know, tap into knowledge and grants and help them promote themselves.
Yes, that's a good point. So I'm really pleased that you benefited from, you know, many forms of support from the Growth Hub and from Cranfield, and it's great to see, you know, how your business has moved forward from that.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Lucy, when you applied for funding, were there any pitfalls you came across that you had overcome?
Absolutely, there was a funding application that I did about 4 years ago now, which I had very high hopes for. It was a direct to government one, and yeah, just failed miserably. The application was terrible. The whole messaging was not correct because I wasn't familiar with it. I wasn't familiar with the process, and I didn't have, you know, the support of a business advisor to, you know, enable me to use the right language or pitch it in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did get from that actually was that they provide incredible feedback. So that was a real stepping stone for me to use for future applications. So, you know, every cloud and all that.
Mm. We always learn from our failures, don't we?
Exactly.
And on a more positive note and final note, what's been your best business experience?
I think two really. There was a most recent one that I did, which was a Pitch Fest course, which Ian was involved in. That was an amazing experience, and I properly had to step out of my comfort zone to enable me to do that. So from a personal perspective, that was very rewarding. But Cranfield University, the business growth program, that was a big standout for me. I think being a creative at heart, you know, you don't necessarily have all the disciplines that you should have, being, you know, in a senior position within a business. So having that access to understanding finance, or, you know, being more clued up in terms of how you operate a business, how you enable it to grow, etc. So yeah, that was a good standout.
Excellent, thank you.
So, Emmanuel, if I had to ask you for one tip from today's session, what would that tip be?
I would tell companies to contact their local enterprise partnerships, their local growth hub. There are business advisors who can support, have a chat with them, make them go through their journey. Networking is also very important. So talk to people around you. It really helps learn and grow your business.
You know, and I agree completely. What I've found in the last few months is people are so open to talking in these times. So Lucy, if I was to ask you the same question, what would your tip be for the people who are listening today?
I think a couple of things would be, you know, listen to the advice, let them do the talking and get involved within that network. But just to repeat, I guess, of what I said earlier, you know, nobody knows everything and everybody knows something. So build that network and use it to help your business grow, but most importantly, support your customers too.
We've just heard Emmanuel and Lucy go through their journey. It was fascinating seeing how Lucy was able to take advantage of grants and the support that they offer, talking to local universities and seeing how they can help. Could also be a technology that they're coming from that you might be able to get from your university, as well as the business support. There are 4 main ways that you can support your company. You can sell stuff, you can get money from the banks, you can get investment, and you can get grants. Don't forget to think about all the support you can currently get due to COVID through the bounce back loans and all that sort of stuff, very important. But let's not forget one fundamental thing. There's only one way to create a business that survives and goes on, and that's sales. And whatever we're doing, if we're getting the grants or the loans, we should be asking ourselves, how is that making my company more able to do sales in the future? Because if it's not doing something to help you sell more or connect with your customers better, think hard before you engage on it. The other thing I want you to think about is not all of these things should be used in isolation. You should be blending them together to support each other. And that's where the support of your local enterprise partnership can be invaluable, or other business advisors, as they will tend to spend some of their time being informed of what's happening out there. Don't waste your hours on Google. Speak to somebody who did the Googling yesterday for you and let them do the heavy lift so you can concentrate on the thing that matters most to you, running your company successfully for the future. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Lucy. That was a really informative and helpful conversation. I hope you've enjoyed this session as much as I have. Until the next time I see you, good luck and safe journeys.